Hello, everyone. It's good to see you again here. This is now the third week of our extensive reading class, and we are still in reading novels. And for this conversation, for today's meeting, I will be talking about reading fluency. What is that? And let me now show you the PowerPoint, and I will hide myself so you can be free from my sight. No, I mean, you don't have to see me. All right. So what is reading fluency? And how do we do that? And how do we get that? What for? So those are my questions here that I hope I can answer through this brief presentation. Reading fluency is like speaking fluency, but in reading. No, that doesn't sound very academic at all. What we mean by reading fluency is a condition when you are able to read text fluently without having to stop here and there, and eventually you don't enjoy it anymore. So reading fluency is that condition when you can read smoothly everything that you face without being afraid. All right. Reading fluency is different from reading comprehension. Reading comprehension is the ability to understand text that you read and go deep into the text that you read. There are strategies for building reading comprehension, and we have done that in literal reading class and inferential reading class. The purposes of reading comprehension are to understand text better, to understand meanings you get from the text, and later on to be able to use the text in our purposes, for our own purposes. While reading fluency is something else. Reading fluency is what we usually do to, reading fluency is a situation when we can enjoy reading, we can do reading when we need to, and we are not afraid of reading anymore. And that is important later. And now we are into fluency. We are more into it. We don't care about going deep into the underlying meaning of a text, the motivation of the writer, and so on. For the time being, it doesn't mean that we don't need that at all. We will need it later on. But for now, we need the fluency in our reading ability. And how do we do that? There are a lot of rules of thumb. And last week, I mentioned to you some of them. And today, I want to emphasize two more, which I hope can help you read your texts more fluently and faster. First of all, do it fast. That's the first rule of thumb. Do it fast, and do not stop yourself to open up the dictionary, to look up your dictionary to find words. Just go straight, smoothly. If you don't understand, keep reading. Hopefully the sentence will give you the context, and the context will help you understand what the story actually wants to say without you knowing the meaning of every single word. Why is it so? Well, because you don't have to know the meaning of every single word. Our linguistic capability allows us to understand something as thanks to the context, not only based on the word by word basis. All right. So do it fast. Do not stop yourself, because if you keep stopping, you will get exhausted, and eventually you will not enjoy reading anymore. At this point, like most Indonesian people, we want you to enjoy reading and to do it fast, and it takes an effort. All right. It takes an effort to like reading. You are not born with a desire to keep reading. You need to build that. And later on, when we talk about comprehension reading again, then you will need to go deep into a text, and sometimes you will have to spend hours on just one paragraph if you really need to understand that. But that's for later. It's what we call, okay, I will tell you later. And the second thing is to read a lot. Do it fast, read a lot. If you find an article, then read it and fast without having to worry if you understand the meaning of every single word or not. And at this point, I want you to focus more on your novel. The novel is something that you like. The novel is something that is not difficult to read. And the novel is something that you can get more, okay? If you finish with one novel, go find another novel. If you don't have a physical book, you can go to Wattpad, to Tapas, and other online portals or platforms. And the third one is, if you want to build your reading fluency, you can repeat reading the same text over and over again. There is actually an exercise here which I would love to do with you if we were on campus in a classroom and able to do this together. So the way to prove that reading the same material over and over can help you read faster is try, okay? Set your timer for 1 minute and read a novel in 1 minute. See how many words you can cover in 1 minute. Once the minute is over, stop. Then you restart your timer again and then go to the same beginning of the part. Okay, if you start from the first page of the novel, then read the same thing again and then set your timer again. You will see that each time you read, you will get faster. And it means that your capability in reading is higher and your fluency is higher. How do you know that you are fluent in it? You will say that you are fluent in your text when you see the same word, but you don't have to think about it anymore because you are already familiar with the word. And if you keep reading, if you read a lot, later on, eventually, when you have to face a text, you will understand the text faster without having to worry about the meaning of word by word. In fact, in actual reading situation, you do not read word by word. Our eyes will just skim through words that we are so familiar, like the word the, read, do, want, more. These words, we can read them very fast. We can just skip over them and we understand what they are. It's because we are so familiar with those words. Now, our purpose is to make you familiar with as many words as possible so that when you read, you don't have to keep thinking of the meaning of every single word. All right, let's now continue. Now, fluency in reading. If this is one mindset that you have to keep when it comes to building fluency. You need to understand that a text is more fun the more of the content you get it. If you know more about a novel, say if you have read 50 pages, the novel looks more fun than when you start reading the novel. When you have read only 10 pages, the novel looks quite more interesting now. But still, it will be more fun for you if you have read 50 pages. So keep reading, because the fun part of a novel is when you know the world of the novel. Once you can imagine the world, you can get into the world of the novel, then it will be more absorbing. You will get absorbed into the text more. That's if the text is one that you like. But here in this course, you have chosen the novels yourself, and I have told you that if you need to leave the novel for something else, well, leave it and go find something else that you can enjoy best. So keep this in mind. You will enjoy a novel more if you know more of the content, if you get more of the content with you. The next thing is that the more you read, the more you can tell. This is a very, I would say, pragmatic thing. I will keep giving you assignments to check whether you have done your reading or not, right? I will ask you to tell me orally. I will ask you to write something. I will ask you to make a video of yourself telling about the book. And you will have to do that. And to do that, you will need to read the work. The more you read, the more you can tell, and that will be important for you. So say, if you want to be free from the torture of assignments, just read so that when I ask you, you can tell me. And yeah, this is important for the quizzes, of course, because I told you we have a lot of quizzes in this course, and the quizzes are based on your reading. Now, what for? What do we get from it? Why do we need to build fluency in reading? It's because you are now still learning to read. It is actually a way for us to learn reading. We will know strategies of reading more. At this point, the strategy that I have taught you is only about strategy of reading novel and enjoy novel. Later on, there will be more strategies. And all of these together are our way of learning to read. But then, why do we need to learn to read? Why do we need to learn building, we need to build reading fluency? It's because later on, you will need to read to learn. You are already now reading to learn. You read books for your history of the English language course. You read books for your translation and interpretation course. You read books for your poetry course. But later on, next semester, in the next two semesters, you will need to read more and more. You need to learn more. And if you have the reading fluency, then you will be able to read to learn better. You will be able to do the reading for learning better. And that's the reason why we need to build our reading fluency, everyone. And so far, that's all I can say about reading fluency. I hope you will now realize that it is important to read fast. It is important to read more, and it is also important to keep repeating reading so that we get familiarized with more words, and eventually it will make our reading activity faster. That's all from me, everyone. I hope I can see you again soon in the next video, and I will give you an assignment after this. Bye. Thank you.